Good morning, Jem.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Loving life.
Good.
The sun is shining, even though it might not be on the day of release.
It will be.
But today it is.
We're hopefully going into summer. So
if not, we'll hopefully bring some sunshine into someone wherever they're listening.
Always.
There we go.
Who we got today?
Today we have the guy I've really wanted to get on for ages, only because I dealt with him, or had the honour of speaking to him on another show, and always wanted to get him back for our one because he's such a character. Without further ado, we are introducing the CEO of Vinttro, Simon Bennett.
Woo, welcome.
Hey. Great to be here, guys.
Welcome,
Great to
Simon.
be here.
And thank you for coming, Simon.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Nick. Yeah,
You must find that like your diary of like media appointments and stuff is like pretty hectic because everyone wants to talk to you.
Well, I wouldn't say everyone, Nick, but it's been busy of late. Yeah, I've just done one with the Directors magazine, as you know, my association with Ellison's, done a few there and others. But I really enjoy them, actually.
But this is one he's been waiting for.
Obviously.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for.
He's now hit the pinnacle.
This is it now.
Everything's downhill
else
from
after
here.
this is,
That's the one. Okay, Simon. So growing up, are you a local lad or?
Yeah, a local Ipswich lad.
Okay.
I grew. I originally come from Chantry Estate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
we're all
Good.
advocates
One of my
for coming from
neighbours.
Chantry.
Yeah, right.
One of my neighbours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Chantry.
Yeah. So I was a Chantry boy. Yeah.
Chantry High?
Chantry High. Yeah.
See, now it goes
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
I went to Stoke.
Wasn't that great in the 80s, Jem?
Yeah, okay.
but,
Nor was Stoke and Jem went there. Yeah.
no, well, a lot of my friends went to Stoke High, yeah.
Okay. The fancy school.
Yeah.
It's what was known as compared to Chantry. It was the fancy
I think
school.
it was. I think that's a fair comment there, Jem. I think it was.
If I had the cricket sound effect, I'd do that one because I'm not quite on the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so was school the thing for you?
No.
Your academic?
No, hated it.
It's.
Didn't like Chantry Estate.
Do you know it's a running theme? We get that with entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I didn't I want to get out of school. I didn't enjoy school at all, no.
Okay.
Nothing, like no subjects, no
Music,
sport.
only music and
okay.
sport.
Yeah.
There you go.
Practical.
That's that one.
I ask because most people say they go to the practical subjects as opposed to anything academic.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
And then no sixth form?
No sixth form now. I went
Just straight out and graft?
straight out and graft. My father told me to get out and work as many hours as you can, Simon, and that's what I've done. But I went to a fantastic company my earlier career, Allied Bakeries, which was known as Tooks Bakery in Norwich Road.
Okay.
And well, first actually, I went to a tyre fitting firm called National Tyre Service. And back in the 80s, showing my age now, most of the young guys, they went on youth training schemes, a Margaret Thatcher scheme that she brought in under the Tory regime. And I ended up on a YTS scheme at National Tyre Service. But I was quickly spotted by the transport manager of Allied Bakeries, and he said, you've got a lot of enthusiasm. We'd like to bring you here. And in those days, guys, Tooks Bakery was the place to try and get. It paid really good money. And I can tell you now, I earned £52, right, a week as a 16-year-old at Tooks Bakery in 1986.
But that was really good because all the YTSs were like 30 quid less.
No,
and less.
24.30.
There you go.
£24.
Never forgot that.
Hang
I
on.
know, I never forgot it.
My first one, £29.50. So yeah, that's
you
why I
go.
was like,
Okay,
I
I
remember
don't
being
want
on that
to
one.
say this and make anyone feel bad, but them schemes, is it like apprenticeships?
Yes.
Okay, before.
Yeah.
Right.
The idea, Gemma, back at what the Tories said, they wanted to get every young man and lady into work because there was a high of unemployment for young people, and they created this scheme. And I got to say, it worked.
Yeah.
It got all us young people into work. We never had this fear if we couldn't get an apprentice.
Yeah.
We never had this fear. No, you gone.
So it may not have been the job you wanted, but you were doing something.
No, it was all.
Or was
it was all. No, the infrastructure of that was all like, what do you want to be? And I want to go into the motor industry.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll place you with National Tyre Service, or we'll try and get you a placement at a car service and garage. So no, it was a great scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, YTS and stuff was
A good
was
legacy
really good.
they left there. Good legacy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, effectively it did. It evolved into apprenticeships.
In what I know as apprenticeships. Yeah.
How I ended up at Tooks Bakery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean that is pretty good. I mean, you're talking about like 200% on top of what's normal, 50 odd quid a week at Turks.
No, but it didn't stop there because so I went into the garage environment where I want to at Allied Bakeries. But coming back to my dad's or my father's, he said just work as many hours as you can. The hours you could work as many as you wanted at
wow,
those bakeries. So that was £52 for a then 39 hours a week. I'd done no less than 65, 70 hours in my whole career, right up until my 40s and 50s.
But do you find it like...
Wow.
But do you find it really horrible now? You've got all these things of kind of going, working time directive that says you can't do more than 48 hours and stuff. And you go,
yeah,
all these opportunities where people go, I really want to do this and I want to graft, and they're going to get legislated out of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do find that strange, because if you speak with most entrepreneurs, they are rabbits in headlights, and I say now, with the different environments of the younger generation, there's still nothing wrong with a little bit of sprinkling hours and hard work on top of your education, and I think we're a little bit disjointed.
We had someone else on here, didn't we, who Halstead, who was on about his start of his journey and how he worked every hour God sent. He had about 4 or 5 jobs on the go, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand now why people just don't have the
go.
Just go and do something. Well, get out there.
That's the thing. I mean, he's now got a property. I mean, I don't know, empire might be too big a word, but he definitely has a decent portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and the first time he ever bought a house, he said, someone said, he just saw a house and it was 20 grand, and he went to speak to someone and said, how do I get that? They said, you need £1,000. So he said, okay, and went out and got it. And everyone says, oh yeah, but of course, you can get £1,000. He said, I was a manager of Co-op earning £29 a week. He said, but I'd get that. And then after that, I'd wash cars. He said, when I did Bob Job week with the Scouts, he said, I turned it into Bob Job year, because I went, someone will give me £1 for cutting their grass or £1 for washing their car. Well, I'll just keep doing it.
Well,
and that's what he did.
And he went back then,
and 12 months later, he had £1,000, and he took it to someone and went, there's £1,000. Can I buy the house now?
Yeah, well, it's very relevant to sort of how I grew up through that sort of Allied Bakeries path. I went in there on this £52 a week, worked the hours. I then become apprenticeship panel beater.
Yeah,
repairing lorries and cars, and that's how I ended up in insurance. We'll probably go on to that. But so my manager, Mick Keeble, his name, Michael Keeble, fantastic guy. I owe that man so much. He said, well, now you're doing welding, would you like to stay after hours to weld the dolly wheels up that the bread sits on? I said, yeah, I'll do that. So I thought, well, 2 nights a week. And he said, if you work after 9 o'clock, you get 25% of your salary again. So
you're thinking ahead.
I'm thinking, yes. Come back to my father, what he said. He said, just work the hours, son. By the time I was 21, I got myself into a salary of nearly £17,000 a year. But we're going back.
Wow.
That's insane.
When you were talking about like YTS is 25 quid, you were on 55 quid, and now you got 17 grand.
I then went and got an HGV driver's license they paid for, and I went and started delivering bread at night. Right.
I can just imagine them coming to you with these opportunities, and you didn't really say no.
No, I didn't say no.
You don't like the no guy. Like, I'll just give it a go.
And then on top of that, I just mentioned this on a podcast. I used to love my dancing in the day. I was offered a £50 a night at Hollywood nightclub to dance in there. So all these revenue streams were coming in. 21 years old, semi-detached house, Porsche 944 on the driveway. I was living the true yuppie lifestyle that the Tory government created. I was literally 21 years old, and I was thinking, I had my own house, I had this sports car, but
you grafted for it.
And I was just literally on energy every day, starting at 7, finishing at night, earning a load of money. And the proof was there. And I took that kind of ethos into my business thoughts, and that's probably why I do what I do now. And coming back, there's nothing wrong with sprinkling a little bit of hours and hard work on top of your education now.
Yeah.
But it's what everyone says, everyone would have been envious of what you had, but no one was envious of what you were doing to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of, but my circle of friends, my good friend Ian Bowman, he used to work for Mercedes-Benz. He was doing the same. He was doing the same. He was doing all the hours. So,
but did you find that you were all driving each other to kind of go, who can get the best car, who can do this?
Yeah.
And the only way to do it was like, I did 60 hours. Like, part-timer.
I'm do 65.
I did 80.
Yeah. But there was, do you know what? I just thought we came through that era of working hours. That's all we knew. And I went through my whole career right up until I owned CAA. And even when I went on to own my own companies, I was still going in Saturday morning because it was kind of ingrained in me. And it was my wife said, do you need to go in Saturday mornings now, and you are, one of the co-owners of the company. I said, actually, I don't.
No, I don't. This is to become autopilot.
It's just what I do.
Yeah.
Habit.
And then I started not working Saturday mornings, and I realised that your time in your life is a little bit more precious than just work life.
Yeah. So we've gone from panel beating, welding, truck driving, dancing, Porsche,
And this is all before he's 18.
21-year-old.
Yeah.
What happened next? Where did it go?
Well, I stayed at Allied Bakeries in the garage workshop repairing vehicles for 13 years. And as in the motor trade, it can be quite hard on your body. Your knees aches because you're rubbing down things, rubbing down cars and stuff like that. And you're spraying cars, and so it's a very physical job. And I went home one day, and my wife said to me, she said, "There's a really, really interesting advert." I was in another body shop at this time, a local body shop to here, Tideman's, called as a panel beater. She said, "There's this insurance claims handling company advertising for panel beaters, but to assess repair estimates digitally." And she said, "That's you, isn't it?" And I said, "What, me working in an office?" I said, "I'm used to overalls and oily rags,
Yeah.
But she said,
And Swarfiga gel.
She said, "Well, you won't be breathing any toxic stuff from the paint fumes. Your knees will get better and everything else."
Yeah.
So I went for this job. I never had a suit.
Well, why would you need one at this point?
Panel beaters don't have suits. Insurance people have suits.
Yeah.
And bankers have suits.
Did you not get one for your Porsche and your portable phone?
Just while he drove around.
No, I just used to,
proper yuppie. Yeah.
I just bought me Don Johnson trousers. So my wife, she said, "Look, we go and get your suit." I think we went up Asda and bought a suit. And cut a long story short, guys, I went for this interview and I got the job. The place was called Town and Country, and they're an insurance claims handling company. So I got this job, and I went from workshop to in the office.
An office?
And with hundreds of people. And
how did you adjust to that?
Well, the strange thing is, I found, when you first see a keyboard, when you're a panel beat, you're like this on the keyboard. It's like, you're one finger, and then you're sitting next to, I've never been in an environment where I work with females, and they're rattling away like secretaries on claims. And it's me and then looking at that. But I soon adjusted, and
that must be hard because up until this point you've bossed everything you've done.
Yeah,
and now you're
I was at the bottom, and I remember this lady, and I'll tell you what, it's actually my business partner's wife. Her name is Melissa. She said to me, she found me a fax machine once, and I couldn't even operate a fax machine. And she was tutting beside me. And
what's taking you so long?
What are you doing? Don't you know how to work a fax machine? Well, no, actually, I've been rubbing down cars for a while. So that was a strange one. But I soon adjusted, and 6 months probation, I said, "Oh, we really love what you're doing." So I was an insurance engineer. And within 5 years, I then was promoted to senior engineer and then chief engineer. And then I had staff under me. I had 24 engineers under me.
So now you're okay. You could two-finger type and just get someone else to do it, right?
Someone else to do it. And there's someone else who can do the fax machine
my emails sent.
Yeah. So that was it. So I was in this company, and it was a great company. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good times, called Town and Country. And it was taken over by corporate American investors, I think. And that was that.
So did you stay on when it got taken over?
No, it changed. The dynamics changed, and it got very pressurized. We outsourced our work to India, which is nothing wrong with that. I was I was a supporter of that project. I think you should outsource to India, but there's certain aspects you should outsource, and that's back office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted to start putting call centers there, and when you've had a claim and people phone up after accident, I didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
And because of that, because of my now senior position, I was getting telephone calls from our clients, or the company's clients, and not my clients, the company's clients. "Simon, what's happening? The service has just fallen off the edge of a cliff." And it got so bad, the pressure got so bad that I was speaking to my number 2 at the time. His name was David Quantz, who went on to be my co-founder of CAA. And I said, "You know what, David, we could do this better ourselves.
Yeah.
The pressure's so great." And he said, "Well, do you want to have a chat about it?" "Yeah, come round." And we put this business plan together. And then when I give my notice in, that company were doing everything they can to retain me. I'll give you an idea. I was on £28,000 a year then, which was a reasonable amount of money.
Mm.
But they offered me 45.
Oh,
right.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, and I took that, and a lot of people say, "Wow, that's really good." No, I took that. Well, if I'm worth 45 after I give my notice in,
yeah,
why am I sitting on 28,000?
Why are you only paying me 28 now
when I'm there now? So that's how I took that.
Mm.
But the damage was already done, and I'd wrote this business plan. Cut a long story short, we left, no clients, and started CAA.
Wow.
Which is yeah.
So how long were you building CAA? And did you build it with the plan of what you were going to do, or did you build it with the plan of I need a job?
No. I left CAA because I wasn't no longer enjoying my work. So, but I always had this ambition of owning my own company, and another thing, I'm sort of a part-time musician. I still play now, and I nearly bought a music shop. So I wanted to own my own company in some way. But it's naturally you go to what you know best. And now I was really into the insurance industry.
Yeah.
So we started this company, and we struggled at first. We didn't pay ourselves for over 2 years. The third year was we paid ourselves £400 a month, £100 a week. This is we started in 2004, but we got our first £400 a month in 2007. But we had a couple of employees who were on their sort of a £20,000 salary. So we were looking after them. But the owners of the business, which was myself, David Hayward, David Quantz, Mark Collis, we weren't paying ourselves. And I remember it got really close. My wife, I come home one day, she said, are you ever going to get paid for this? And I said, well, I think it's actually worse than that. We've got the payroll coming out. How much money you got in your bank account? She said, I've got £1,700 savings. I said, I need that. I said, I need to pay the staff.
To pay your staff.
And she said, so we've got nothing. She said, you've not got a salary. We've got nothing. We've got no savings. I said, no, trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust
the process.
And in year 3, we built on that £400. I remember getting £1,200 and £1,500 and so on. And we ended up on a £20,000 salary at the end of year 3. And then the rest was history after that. On. We went from 4 staff to we peaked at 130 staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And when did you, over what period? How many?
10 years, 8 months. We had, then we built the strategy, Nick, of selling the company, preparing it for acquisition. And in about 2008, 10, 11, we started to get these inquiries by some major companies. And we become a big employer in Ipswich. So when you got this level of staff, there was us and a company called Cool Connection.
So many people
everyone knows
went
Cool
to work at Cool Connection.
So we were the 2 main companies at that time that were really vibrant.
Yeah.
We were employed. We took on like 15 apprentices one year.
Oh, wow.
And there was that. So and I knew that, and matter of fact, actually, Steve Collis is with us now. He's actually a co-owner of Vinttro, who used to be one of the shareholders and creators of Connection.
Oh, okay.
So there was always this sort of alignment with the 2 companies. Even now, we're very technology business, and Cool Connection was cutting edge technology, and so was CAA. We bought online claims. We believe we were the first company to bring online claims to the internet 24/7. Unheard.
Simon, can I just get you to adjust your mic in front of your face?
Yeah, sorry. Is that good?
It's all right. Yeah.
Sorry.
I just didn't want anyone to miss this because it's such good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened when you first kind of heard that someone was interested in acquiring CAA?
Well, it was quite strange, really. What's best to answer? So we took a lot of pinch of salt, but actually we did say, well, we'll prepare this company for sale, and we didn't know anything about EBITDA and stuff like that. You did, Nick, that's your world. We were just. I always say actually that I was just a panel beater who got lucky, but when I reflect on it, we didn't really get lucky. It was a good strategy. We built good technology.
Yeah.
But when you get the first inquiry, you say, oh, that's a bit interesting. But when you get the second and the third, we had 4 major inquiries. And in the end, we ended up selling to a major American corporate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember this is how naive we were. We'd built this company. I think we got to about 40, 45 staff at the time. And our accountants used to be LB Group. And we used to deal with a guy there called Chris Annis. He came in for the year-end accounts. And he said, could you just grab your cash at bank? You know all about this. And I said, I didn't. David Hayward, who's with us now, he said, yeah, let me just go to the accounting system. We'll just go and grab that. And he came back and he said, yeah, we've got 986,000 after everything. There's cash at bank.
Wow.
And Chris nearly fell off the floor. He said, so you're nearly got post £1 million cash in the bank? We said, yeah. And he said, and you're paying yourself £30,000 a year? And we said, yeah. And he said, we need to have a look at dividends. You need to start looking and enjoying your company. And have you got a lease car and stuff like that? So we went on the lash in London.
Yeah, of course we did.
We spent £5,000 on a big booze up in London.
Let's do this now. Come on.
So we immediately went up. We put our salaries up to £40,000-50,000. I had a Lexus lease car.
Of course you did.
And the journey really started, and that's where the fun times started kicking in.
And that was, and you were talking about it before, where we were talking about like your thing of like work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
But it was work hard, play harder, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were the Suffolk version of Wolf of Wall Street.
All the scenarios I'm imagining right now.
Yeah. So I'll give you a funny story. If it's that time, I'll give you a funny story how that sort of relates. We got to 25 staff, and I know nothing about HR, but fortunately there's these portals like Peninsula and stuff. I don't know if you heard of them. So we were with those guys, but we were growing at a rapid rate.
And you couldn't use Shelley at the time, right?
Couldn't use Shelley.
Yeah, Shelley
I
wasn't
wish
there
I
at the
knew.
time.
Shelley was with where my wife worked, Fred
Olsen's.
Yeah, that's right. If I'd have known Shelley then, I would. No, but we got a great lady. We got a lady called Laura Risley, her name at the time. She went on and she was fantastic. She came in and I can't remember where she was with now, but we took her from quite a major insurance player. He was moving into the Suffolk area because of her then partner, but went on to be her husband. And Laura was fantastic. She came in, but I remember this thing. I interviewed Laura and I said, "You got the job. We've done the package." And I said, "What we do, Laura, when we at the end of the month we take the guys out for a drink, and it's called the Steamboat opposite the Feelor Maltings."
Around the docks.
And I said, I think I'd be a fantastic opportunity if you was to come down and join us on a Friday night. We go into the Steamboat, we have a couple of drinks, and with the I don't like the word staff, our people.
Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, that'd be great." She said, "But I'll have to drive down from Essex because that's where she lived." "What time do you start?" So, we'll be in there at 5:30.
Well, I really feel like he's downplayed this. We just go for a couple of drinks.
Yeah. So I said, great. She said, "Well, I'll probably get there about 7:30 because I've got to go back to Essex and then I'll drive back." I said, "Brilliant. That'd be fantastic." And we went, and David Hayward, who was in control of the finances at this time, he said, I'll tell you, we've had a really good month on claims. I said, "We'll put a free bar in."
Right.
I was just off. We'll put a free bar in.
Yeah.
So we took all our people over there. I can't remember how many staff we had then. But we're over the Steamboat. We said to Val, her name, who used to run the Steamboat, said, just open the bar up to everyone at CAA. Free drinks all night. Got to about 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know the song "Oops Upside Your Head"? Oops.
Yeah.
So we were doing
on the floor.
In long lines, isn't it?
So we're all doing the rowing thing.
Yeah.
And there was me and my business partners with Prosecco filling the mouths up of our stuff. They're all swimming for this Prosecco and beer, and we're spraying beer, and it's getting like a scene of Wolf of Wall Street. But what I forgot is that I'd invited Laura down, the new HR director. Laura's on the way.
I forgot about Laura in that story.
So there I was. So me and my business, we're all doing this thing, and then I looked up, and Laura comes in, and I've been in there since 5:30, enjoying the enjoyment with our people. You know, we're all there singing "Oops Upside Your Head" and other stuff.
Let's just say you're not sober when you're deciding to spray Prosecco into people's faces, right?
So I say to our HR lady, her face was HR, you know. But you got to remember, we're very naive to business ownership, but this is a business that is really thriving.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Hi, Laura. Thanks for coming and joining us." And she's like, "We need a chat." in my office first thing on Monday morning. And I thought, well, you ain't got an office.
Your first thought. What office?
And she said, you got to watch what you know, how much alcohol you can apply your staff. And she said, I've seen one of your people on a wall outside. She's in a little skirt in high heels and she's balancing on the wall outside with all her. And she said, we really need to clean this up. It's a bit boring, isn't it?
Bloody HR.
What a bad hire this is. Yeah.
And
what's Laura doing here?
But she was brilliant. She was fantastic. But the HR police then got hold of the company and we had to. And one of the things they said, what I suggest you owners and directors, because we love our staff. We loved our people. We loved the growth of the company. We were enjoying such fantastic times. She said, I suggest you take the guys out for a drink, but you 4 owners, I suggest you leave about 9 o'clock. Because that could get really bad.
Did you not tell Laura and say, look, your job was, we do whatever we want, you just clean it up on Monday.
Cover it up,
That's not quite as easy as that, though, is it? But and the HR team that grew as well. I used to call them Team Essex. There was Laura, and
good old
there was
Laura.
Rachel, and I go, and there were 3 of them in there, and they were so good. They were so good, and they used to keep us in check because
I was going to say, I bet they were busy.
I bet that wasn't an easy job.
No, I learned so much, Gemma, about what you can do and how you portray yourself as a business owner, and you've got to remember, I took this out of leaf out of Richard Branson's book once. He said, I must be the most intelligent people in this business because I employ people who are more intelligent than me. And where I'm going with that is I had this team at HR, from managers to directors, they kept us in check because we were just normal guys who created this company, and
it was just enjoying what we
didn't know all this, So what I'm saying here, business owners, they don't know everything.
No.
And we didn't know it. We'd created this company that was absolutely on fire. And it was just fantastic times. Some of the stories there.
How did you celebrate the moment that you've completed the deal?
I don't think we need to know that.
No, I definitely do need to know that. That needs to come out.
Yeah, so we went down to the Gallagher's lawyers. I went down, they had this big swanky London office. And we signed the deal. And that sort of, they didn't come along for the journey. So our accountant, which was a great guy as well, he worked for Ellison's at the time. And as you know, I do some work with Ellison's, great law firm, by the way. Free plug there, Ellison's. But
big up Ellison.
But there's this guy called Seamus. Yeah.
Increase his referral fee and commissions from now. Yeah.
And there was this guy who represented us called Seamus. And along the journey of acquisition, because that was, it took 2 years to get to acquisition. He was always in and out of the office. But Seamus was this brilliant lawyer. And his then understudy was a guy called Paul Forsyth, who now heads up the mergers and acquisitions at Ellison's, who's another fantastic guy. But we just smashed a bar afterwards. But the fun side of the stories are all in that CAA journey. I've got so many funny stories about that journey of CAA.
Yeah, but you've also got so many lawyers that can help you guard it as well.
Yeah. I think if we wouldn't have that attitude now because times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed. But if we had the attitude, then we'd probably need protecting in some ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so Vinttro was born out of a why not do it again?
Kind of. Right. So we were quite a healthy, wealthy company at CAA. So we branched off, and CAA loaned our own company called Whoop Cover, which was a young driver's car insurance. And we created this company called Whoop, and it was all about lifestyle of young people, mainly insurance, 17 to 24-year-olds. And that didn't go well. That didn't go well at all. So we loaned the company over £1 million because we could. And that just burnt cash. And even today, I still got a legacy today, with us, that there are benefits to loaning a company, as you'll know, Nick, from an accountancy wise, like we still own the shell of that company, which is a tax-free platform because that's riddled in debt to the owners, but not to outside. But Whoop didn't go well. It's a fantastic fantastic brand. So after the acquisition of CAA, David used to run Whoop alongside, David Hayward used to run Whoop alongside CAA when we owned it. After the acquisition of CAA, David, he stayed with Gallagher's, the new owners, and I broke away to run Whoop. And we had some success. And I can tell you now that we wrote with our partners over 30 million GWP out of that company, which is quite significant from what I call a sort of an MGA-led.
I was going to say it's pretty niche as well.
Very niche, very niche. But you'll ask any entrepreneur, they will learn from some of the mistakes.
I was going to ask that question because obviously with CAA, you've gone along and done, almost the full suite from a startup, an idea, a startup, actually we're onto something, this growth, this now big powerhouse, and then a sale. So people would kind of have that, it all. But did you learn more in CAA with the success, or did you learn more with Whoop and the struggles?
Bit of both, Nick, to be honest with you. I'll answer it in two ways. CAA was a learning curve because that was our first real business and we learned so much. So from a sort of a business infrastructure and building what you should do and what you shouldn't do and what you can do and what you can't, it was CAA. To answer it the second way round is Whoop taught us. I always say in business, you can have as much regulation, legislation, and education. There's nothing better than your gut feeling. And we made a decision in Whoop. David Hayward, David Quantz, we went down to London and we agreed to a deal that we all felt was not right.
Okay.
And it's all about VAT in the insurance industry that we spoke about before we come on air. And we agreed to, with this capacity provider, which is an insurer broker, that we would stomach the VAT on these telematic black boxes, which was £79 each. But because they were in the insurance, they didn't have to pay the VAT. But we were in the supply chain of the brand and the insurance that we had to pay the VAT.
Yep.
And then when you're doing 1,000 policies a month, 80 quid plus VAT, and that's where the £1 million debt comes from. So I took that as a learning curve, and just the other day, me and my co-owners were saying, I will never go against my gut feel again with Vinttro. And if I'm in a very privileged position now where I don't have to crawl up the walls for work.
Yeah.
And we promised Vinttro will not sign a deal if it's not absolutely 100% right for Vinttro.
Yeah.
And we won't. I tell you now, we're talking to a few companies now because our strategy is to sell.
Yeah. We
wear our heart on the sleeves. The strategy is to get Vinttro to a place to sell. We've already had those conversations. We've got a couple of inquiries. We're now what we call round 2 of these discussions. And I've already laid it out to the board, and the board laid it out to me. Very, very cohesive board. If there's some part of that is not right, we will not be moving forward. And that's it. And I learned that from Whoop.
How many staff have you got now at Vinttro?
Just 6, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but it's fascinating. This is the thing. Obviously, I have to forget that listeners, and I don't think you fully know the unique part about Vinttro. So Vinttro, when it's been set up, it's been set up with the intention of, in X amount of time, this business is being sold.
Yeah, you told me that. I never knew that.
And all staff members, as they're coming in, they're being told.
They're told.
Oh, by the way, you can come and join this company. However, this is the plan for it. Whether or not that means that you're going to 2P over, whether that means you're going to be, redundancy settled or whatever's going to happen. But this is the purpose of what we're doing. And obviously, as when we spoke before, you were talking about you didn't realize that, and I don't think many people ever realize that when you're coming to sell a business that someone might go, well, hang on a second, where's the details of your BT contract that you had from 4 years ago in case there's a clause in there that could claw this back or something. And, that's what can happen in due diligence, that they're going through every single contract of every single agreement you've ever got into for the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And because of that experience, Vinttro, the best way to describe where we are at the moment, we've laid a very, very robust foundation from contractual to our partners, our choice of partners who we want to deal with, because we are heading towards acquisition. or we hope to. There's no guarantee on that, but we don't want any skeletons in the closet. We're a totally debt-free company, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
We're building good contractual partners, good supply chains in ready. So when there's conversation, and them conversations are probably a bit early. They are started now. We are talking to a couple of companies now. Probably a bit too early,
Mm-hmm.
but I might be able to structure a deal where we create the partnership. They make a small investment in the company with a view to hit our strategy, which is 5 years for a complete takeover. But if that ain't right, we will not be doing it.
So if this goes the way you want it, what's your plan thereafter? Have you got a...
Well, I'm 57 now, Gemma.
Okay.
So is that young or old now? I don't know,
I think it's what you want it to be.
I thought you were 47, so... Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't often feel 47 now. But...
I mean, I think I've seen people who have retired at 35 and I've seen people who are still working at 80. So it's like, I think it's ultimately whatever you want.
Yeah.
I had this thing, to retire in my early 60s, 61 or whatever. But if you're a creator,
are you ever going to switch off?
I don't know. And I just don't know the answer to that question.
I think you'll be similar to me. I had this conversation, bizarrely enough. We were talking in the office about hypothetically, if you won the lottery, what would that mean to you? And I remember someone asked this to me and I said, well, I'd probably take a couple of weeks off and then I'd come back. And they're like, why would you do that? And I said, well, to me, the definition of retirement is being able to spend the time you have doing the thing that you love.
Yeah.
But I love what I do.
I know.
So why would I change?
Do you know what, Nick? It's a really... I had a conversation with my wife, just a few weeks ago, and she said, God, you get up like a 21-year-old, and I just love what I do. I just absolutely love life. I love where I live. I love my job. I love my company. I love my co-owners, and I love my family. And it's just, I just get up every morning with a zest of life, and I'm very privileged. Very privileged.
Have you spent a lot of time with Stephen Norris?
I know Stephen, but no, not a lot of time. But no,
I'd imagine you two would have a lot to talk about.
He's got a very similar outlet.
Yeah, he's a good guy, isn't he?
And also, mega musician as well, as he keeps telling us.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he's like known in LA and stuff.
He'll drive through LA.
He can't go through LA without getting.
Yes. Do you know what? Me and Stephen, we had a bit of a drunken night one night.
Oh, no, really?
And we started going on about music. Yeah, he played in a punk band.
Yeah.
He still does. I'm going to be offended if we're not invited on the next night out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the Simon Bennett, Stephen Norris night out. Yeah, we need to be a part of that one.
Stephen's a great guy, and we get on really well because of our music interest.
I thought you would.
Yeah.
You've both got that same drive and passion for business as well, as music.
No, that's right. Yeah. No, I actually. So I played in bands for years, and I've just started again. My first gig after 20-year rest is on the 31st of July. Yeah.
Where is it?
We've got a little micro pub in where I live in Gosbeck. We're starting there, So
and you haven't in 20 years?
I haven't played live in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I used to play live a lot. We've done studio albums and stuff, and similar, not to the level of, I got one of my tracks signed by EMI back in the day. But, so I've always continued to play, but I've got this little three-piece trio together, and we'd
how exciting!
After all these years,
nice.
I'm really excited about it. I've sort of found that in my life again, my music,
But I guess that's almost semi-retirement.
It goes hand in hand.
You're now going to spend your time
anyway.
just doing everything you're passionate about.
Yeah. I am very lucky,
Okay, so I have some quick fire questions for people at the end of their thing. So, if you had your time again, what would you do differently?
There's not a lot I would do differently, actually, Nick. The Whoop experience after CAA was an education for me in business.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that differently. It comes back to I would not be overawed by a contract and my gut feeling. It's a hard one for me to answer that.
But again, if you hadn't have done that, you wouldn't have learned.
I wouldn't have learned, Jenna.
Exactly,
Gemma.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would have done anything differently. Not a great answer.
It's a good one.
It's an honest one.
Because I think it's refreshing for people to look at a mistake and instead of saying, if I go back, I wouldn't like to have made that mistake, because actually you're going, do you know what? It's a brilliant
No, I
learning
quite
experience.
welcome it. And
So,
it's,
so instead of thinking of, I always say this to people. I say, just get out there and do it. And there's only two outcomes that can happen. You'll either win or you'll learn. It's the only two things that can happen.
True.
So you can't lose as long as you take something from it.
Yeah, no, that's very true. It's, I wouldn't change a lot. I wouldn't change a lot. I've had the best time to date.
Okay.
In my career.
Next one for you. If someone's thinking of going out and setting up on their own, should they wait until all their ducks are lined up, or should they just get started?
No, you don't need to wait till your ducks are lined up because you will learn. It's. Do you know what? There's another Richard Branson saying, if you get an opportunity and you don't know what you're doing, take it because you'll soon learn.
Work out the rest.
Work out the rest. So no, don't. You can't get your ducks in line because anyone who say they can in business, I would seriously debate that because I never knew anything about tax and VAT and FCA regulation. I just wanted to start an insurance lifestyle brand.
Get paid and get another Porsche.
I didn't know HR.
didn't know HR, and that's an area I really failed on. But I know it now.
You know it now, don't you?
Leave at 9 o'clock, Simon. That's what you got to do.
Okay, and your final one that I'm going to give you. Over the next 10 years, what would you like to see happen in your world?
I'd like to see the education system drastically changing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a very vocal on.
So if you could write the new curriculum, I know this is supposed to be a quick fire thing, but we'll go into this. We've got time. If you were to write the curriculum, what's the top 3 things you think need to be taught that aren't right now?
I think, well, I definitely think there should be more financial accountancy around business in education in schools, and I'm not that close to it, so so I can't 100% comment confidently on that. But my opinion on really successful structured business, education is everything. To be in business, like the insurance industry. If you haven't got a degree, you're not going to be a claims handler, same as banking or any financial. But actually, that can all be taught. Get the person, find the enthusiasm, see if they're hungry for life, and then so I come back to we need a little bit of working ethos. We live in a world now where it seems to be it's a given. There's a lot of oral stuff going around where interviews they've gone to university.
Yeah.
It's not being used for the right thing. So coming back to this education funding, I'm more apprenticeship backed. It worked. I'm not saying just because it worked back in the day, but I think there's got to be a turn in.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. I think it can still work now, and I think it can still work now because you go along and you see how many young people. I mean, you look at the unemployment figures now for young people, and it's horrendous. And I think it needs to come in, but the problem is that I think. I mean, we could get into a big economics conversation for about the next 5 hours over this. But I think that, back in the day, it was always a case of saying there was a very clear distinction from an employer's point of view. As an employer, you could pay the going rate for that person, or you could pay probably 30% of that money, take a punt on a young person, train them, get them good.
Yeah.
So the company had a true, do I do this or do I do this? And now you've got the scenario where you're talking about, like, if you take on a young person on an apprenticeship, it might save you 20%. And everyone sort of goes, well, what's the point? I might as well just get someone skilled and experienced and not have to train them. And it doesn't give that employer any incentive to do it. And I hate that.
And I hate that too, Nick. You're talking my language. I'm really upset with the sort of the landscape at the moment around this. I'm an advocate for young people.
Yeah.
They are the future. Don't think 50-year-old guys and 40-year-old ladies are the future in structured business unit. It's the young people. Get them in the front door like we did at CAA. And some of the directors now at Gallagher's, who's my old company, that's where they were. They came in at young. And I see on LinkedIn now some of my ex-employers that I employed from 18, 21, 22. These have got senior positions in these insurance industries.
Because they started the right way.
And it gives me so much pleasure when I see a post on LinkedIn. God, I used to employ that young lady. Look at her now; she's now a director at Willis. But current landscape is it's so close. You go, well, I could actually employ an experienced person for 32,000. It's now going to cost me 24 or what it is for a young startup. Business is not going to take. You're now leaning. Your thinking is being pushed to just go for the experience, because that whole coaching is going to cost you that £6,000 difference or whatever. And I think that, well, it's the government.
Plus, as it's young, as young people, they're still working out what they want to do. And you'll know, you probably took on, when you say you took on 15 apprentices, in 1 year, you'll probably find that 10 of them loved it and stayed on, and 5 of them were gone.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so you go, well, you can't invest in people when you're paying them like a decent wage as well. It just doesn't. It doesn't make economic sense.
No, it doesn't.
And here's the thing, it pains me because that was my route. My route, it was exactly the same. Yeah. I went along and at 16, 17 didn't really know, and went, I'll go on a YTS stroke apprenticeship stroke whatever.
Yeah.
And I was met with probably exactly the same as you were. I had a mentor, boss, whatever, small little firm that went, Nick, we're going to push you as hard as you want to go. There's no hour that you can't work. You're restricted to do this. Yeah. And anything you want to learn, anything you want to do, anywhere you want to kind of develop, come in and talk to me and I'll teach you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I look at that and go, at 21 years old, when I left that place, I was leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else in our industry that was at my age. At 18, I went to like level 1 accountancy training when I finally got on this course. And I went, this feels like, like primary school. This is basics. Oh, yeah, hang on a second. I've spent 9 months, and within 9 months, I'm doing corporation tax and whatever that you're not supposed to learn until like year 4. And because I just had someone who was happy to let me develop, and now I wouldn't be doing what I was if it wasn't for him.
Yeah,
if I didn't get that YTS thing, if I didn't get that chance.
Classrooms don't give you the experience that you're going to get in everyday work. You're going to come up with different scenarios, and I don't get that in a classroom.
I think to back up and to support exactly what you said there, and again, I put this in with our last company. We put this A, B, and C senior manager, right? So we have 5 levels. I said to HR, you put these 5 levels in. So you're a category B claims handler and you're on 22,000. But you make it perfectly clear a category A claims handler is 28,000. They know where they're going.
Yeah.
They know where they're going. And as soon as we expand the company or someone leaves, there's a space for a category A.
Yeah.
And you already know. And I said that. And I said, they can all go down the pub over the steamboat and chat about their salaries. And they go, well, I'm a category B claims handler. What? Oh, I'm on that.
Yeah.
There was no animosity about what what the structure was.
Yeah.
And I think that's still relevant today in business structure. Know where you're going and create a path to get there.
Yeah, like that.
If you're on 25,000, you want to be on 30. Well, you got to get the band right.
Yeah.
And to do that, this is what we need to achieve. You need to be this qualified. You've got to do this and a structured plan.
Yeah.
It absolutely works.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But going back to your point, if you bring someone fresh out into the workplace on that, and you're creating this attitude, well, that's a given anyway. And the employer's just going to go, well, actually, I'll just pay the little extra because there's not much difference now into a qualified person.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing, you're halting all that great opportunity to those young people.
To the young people.
Because, back to the accountancy world, it's all got to stack up.
But the thing is, there is so much talent out there.
There is so much talent.
But there's going to be, in any pool, there's going to be an awful lot of talent, and there's also going to be a load of shit. And as an employer, when you're now being told, by the way, you don't get 2 years to work out who's good or who's bad. You've got 6 months.
Yeah.
You don't get this. Oh, by the way, if you get someone who's work shy and wants to go on statutory sick from day 3, oh yeah, keep paying them. Oh no, you can keep doing this. You can keep doing that. And you just think, what's the point? I might as well just get someone proven and take the safe bet. And the problem is that all those bright sparks are just all going to get pushed by the wayside.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on it. You and I thinking very, very parallel on. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Absolutely.
Well, there we go. There's our final moment for the, let's fix that. And let's just hope it happens over the next couple of years. And,
I think we've got a lot of pain to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note.
And on that note, there we go, everyone. And welcome to Depression Hour at the fun side of business. Yeah, that's
Talking politics.
Yeah. Simon, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Legend.
It's a pleasure, guys. Pleasure.